Axelar remains a top tier project in my portfolio. I actually think that this is going to be one of the most successful projects this cycle. And I also think that it's going to be one of the top movers this cycle as well. It's currently sitting at number 150 on the cryptocurrency list on CoinMarketCap. Its fully diluted value is around $440 million. I do think that we could easily 10x here to $4.4 billion to reach almost $4 per coin. And the reasoning behind this, the thought process behind this, is the technology, what Axelar is capable of doing, and the names that Axelar is also working with. Not to mention how flat the chart actually is. I keep saying that during this time where the market is starting to heat up again, where Ethereum is starting to steal the lead, we're in phase 2 of the cycle. We need to be focused on altcoins like Axelar that are extremely boring, that have barely moved off of their lows. When we take a quick look at the overall chart here, guys, take a look at this macro chart going all the way back to 2023. Axelar has barely moved since these lows back in 2023, right before it went absolutely crazy. This is what we're doing right now. We're just chopping and, squeezing in this wedge, waiting for that big break to the upside. And while we're doing this, we are tapping macro lows going back to October and September of 2023, right around 31.5 cents. Now, I do think that we probably chop a little bit more here. In fact, I'm actually recording this ahead of time. And by the time that this does go live, I'm sure that we'll probably be trading somewhere around like the 40-cent region, because most of this price action is just going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze throughout the month of August. And once we finally break over these previous highs and we get a weekly close above 44 cents, Axelar is going to go crazy. And we are going to target some of these highs going all the way back here to 2023. The first major target that I have here is about 78 cents. After that, we just look at major resistance levels around like $1 to like $1.13. And then we look at the all-time highs here from 2024 around $2.73. Axelar is going to cook once it breaks out. I've watched these types of charts break out over time. Once they finally do, they go crazy. I think that the overall performance back here, to do a 764, percent push, this is proof of how fast things can change once we start to see that squeeze on the chart and we finally break out. But this is at a time where almost no one is paying attention to what Axelar is doing, and this is the perfect time to focus on a project like Axelar, because again, I do think that this could easily breach the top 50. And if we're thinking about the top 50 right now, currently, in terms of market cap, the top 50 needs about $2 billion. Now, again, the top 50 is just the initial level that I'm really kind of watching for us to hit. I can easily see Axelar becoming a top 25 project, which is about $5.4 billion in market cap right now, which is why I do think that Axelar can easily 10x from where it's at currently. Now, let's actually talk about exactly why. Number one, let's go over some of the recent integrations that we're starting to see with Axelar, because these are becoming very common. Even if I go over to Axelar's X account real quick, just recently on July 30th, they announced their announcement with, Hyperliquid X. They just opened new paths to Hyperliquid X. This is with, of course, Axelar. They are connecting Hyperliquid to 80 plus chains. This was just announced on the 30th. On top of that, we also got a big update with Strobe Finance, which we'll talk about here in a moment. And then just recently, we got a big update, which is now powered by Axelar to go cross-chain with Berachain plus Sonic Labs. Fiat on-ramps, instant sends, and a unified UI. One wallet, one experience, all chains. And this is all with one DEX. Here we have one DEX is cooking at Berachain and Sonic Labs, cross-chain via Axelar. Axelar is enabling these types of use cases. I don't think people realize how bullish Axelar is becoming for the DeFi market. Most of the DeFi market, by the way, and let's actually go down here. I just want to show you guys real quick that most of the DeFi market is down in a big way. This market is starting to erupt now again. And if we're thinking about Hyperliquid, guys, Hyperliquid is number 11 on this list. It's actually more valuable than Chainlink in terms of market cap, 14.8 billion. They're working with Axelar now. Chainlink is also tapped in with Axelar on a few use cases. I think that the most recent one that we saw was with Deutsche Bank. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it is with Deutsche Bank. But guys, Chainlink is 14.6 billion, a blue chip in the DeFi market. Most of these DeFi projects have been extremely successful, but Axelar is actually enabling a lot of these DeFi projects to be even more successful than they are today, like for an example, Hyperliquid, and on top of that, even the XRP Ledger, which I know that the XRP Ledger is not listed here, but they do have DeFi on the XRP Ledger now, thanks to, of course, the EVM sidechain with, of course, Axelar. Outside of that, though, we have over here Strobe Finance. It's here. Strobe Finance mainnet is now live. We are thrilled to bring natively accessible DeFi to the XRP Ledger. Like I said, try it now. Here we have app.strobe.finance. Strobe is bringing a new money market to the XRP Ledger, unlocking yield, borrowing, and composability, all powered by the EVM sidechain with Persist, and then the cross-chain messaging with Axelar, and then DCENT Wallet. Put your XRP to work, keep control, earn and borrow with ease directly from the XRP Ledger. We do the heavy lifting in the background. Now again, Axelar is enabling another big player to actually have DeFi on the network. When we think about XRP, XRP has a market cap of almost $200 billion. What was Axelar's again? Let's go back real quick to Axelar. Guys, Axelar's market cap here is sub $500 million. It's insane to me. Axelar is a massive enabler of DeFi use cases on some of the largest networks in this space. Outside of Strobe Finance, though, let's go over here. Stables Labs. Stables Labs is coming to base, powered by Axelar. Again, another major enabler, right? Or enablement from Axelar. In partnership with Axelar and Squid Router, we're enabling seamless cross-chain access for USDX and SUSDX on base. A new chapter begins. And what's crazy about this is, like, these are not small projects. Like, Stables Labs has almost 100,000 followers. With Squid Router, Squid Router has 54,000, but they're a massive name in this space. But this is coming to Base, which has 1 million followers. Base is a massive platform. Obviously, it's Coinbase's, blockchain. But outside of that, we have here what's coming next: cross-chain integration, USDX and SUSDX, bridge to Base via Axelar and Squid. Wrapped assets arrive securely. Thorough audits, testing, and ongoing monitoring. Liquidity bootstrapping on Balancer. Launching a V3 pool USDX, USDX, and Aave USDC. Initial liquidity plus strong LP incentives. Community campaigns to drive early adoption. 20% S points booster during Epic 10. Yeah, so listen, all of this is possible because of what Axelar is doing. But it's not just the it's not just what Axelar is enabling here, right? It's also the growth of the network. When we think about the network itself, here we have from just July, 220 million plus in interchain transfers. Guys, this is $220 million. This is through the interchain token service that Axelar launched. This is built to move tokens anywhere securely and at scale. $220 million. Guys, Axelar's market cap is 440 million fully diluted. The market cap itself is 370 million. This is insane. Axelar is so undervalued. But here we have that in July of 2025, Axelar's interchain token service set a new record, facilitating $220 million in interchain transfers, surpassing the previous high of 185 million in June of 2024. ITS continues to redefine blockchain interoperability with cutting-edge innovation. And yeah, the growth of this has now broken over the 2024 targets, right? If we're thinking about that, the price is still dead. We're still waiting for the price action to catch up to all of the good news here, which is telling me now is the best time to lock in and study what Axelar is doing. On top of this, 12 billion plus was just announced to be securely transferred between blockchains, and the job's not finished. And this is from Axelar as well. And we could see this on the network, 12 billion plus in volume. If we think about it, right? 55, almost $56 million was added into the volume for the cross-chain activity. We could see the transactions here. We could see the total value locked, which, by the way, total value locked, 1.29 billion. Guys, 1.29 billion in total value locked for a project that has a fully diluted value of $440 million. Yeah, it's insane. But on top of that, when we look at the volume in the last 30 days, we can see the volume 241 plus million in the last 30 days. Transactions 97,000. We could see even in the last 7 days. Let's go to let's just see what's been happening over the last 7 days. Almost $50 million in the last 7 days. 24,000 transactions. We could see some of the big spikes here, like for an example, on August 5th, there was a almost $14 million day, but the transactions have been very, very solid lately for Axelar. And again, you could track all the volume, all the transactions on which networks as well. You could see that the XRP Ledger and the XRP Ledger EVM are getting a lot of adoption here. But it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me that more people are not taking a look into what Axelar is doing and how big this is becoming. And if we're thinking about stablecoin adoption, right? Because again, when we think about DeFi, we're not just thinking about total value locked or liquidity pools and things like that. What are we thinking about? What's like one of the biggest things that DeFi actually needs? Stablecoins. Here we have an announcement from Axelar Network. This is actually quoting SpaceBit. We have in 12 months, more DeFi volume will come from stablecoins routing than trading. It won't happen tomorrow, but it's closer than you think. And that's exactly what Axelar is doing, is routing stablecoins. Here we actually see on the bottom from SpaceBit, in 12 months, more DeFi volume will come from stablecoin routing than trading. That's not a hot take. It's a directional shift already underway. Stablecoins aren't just collateral anymore. They're becoming the medium for yield, settlement, and payments, which means the new problem isn't liquidity. It's routing, fast, composable, institutional grade. And C Network is positioning itself as a high-speed router for that. Let me explain. Since 2020, most DeFi activity has revolved around trading, DEX swaps, perps, yield farming tokens, MEV arbitrage as well. But trading is zero-sum. It extracts value more than it generates. The next growth wave will come from automated stablecoin flows. So when we think about this, right, we're looking at what Axelar is doing here, how it becomes a big player. It's the interchain infrastructure. And then you also have Chainlink here. So when we're looking at what can be created here with Axelar, Chainlink, and even all the big players tapped in with like Circle and Ondo, you could kind of see the vision, right? So when we go back up here real quick, let's just look at this. Here we have the next growth wave, yield rebalancing across stablecoin vaults, cross-chain movement of stablecoins via CCTP, Axelar, and Wormhole. This is the focus, okay? When we think about that cross-chain movement of stablecoins, it's so important to think about, especially if you are holding XRP. Why? One of the biggest arguments about RLUSD is that most of the supply is issued out on Ethereum. Guess what? Axelar allows that cross-chain movement of RLUSD from Ethereum over to the XRP Ledger. But all of this is happening behind the scenes. Not a lot of people are paying attention to what is capable using a platform like Axelar. And I think it simply comes down to the complexity behind it, right? A lot of people don't understand, you know, the what's actually going on with Axelar, I should say, right? They want that easy use case. Oh, guess what we're doing with, you know, this project? Well, we're enabling payments. All right, well, it's simple. Payments are payments. It's self-explanatory. But with what Axelar is doing here and the platform that they've created, the best way that we can describe this is that it's cross-chain interoperability. It's that interoperability infrastructure that allows things to move from any chain, you know, in the simplest way, easiest way as well, fastest way. And what Axelar has created here, it's working. It's clearly working. You can see the transactions here. You can see what's actually happening here. You can see the volume as well. I mean, guys, I'm telling you right now, Axelar is becoming a crucial piece for the DeFi market, a market that is valued in the 500 billion plus area. So when we're thinking about a market that's worth over 500 plus billion dollars, and Axelar is becoming a key piece for it, I just don't see how this thing is going to stay cheap forever. So I'm looking at this while it remains flat. Right now, off of the all-time lows, which were 4 months ago, we're up only 32%. This is comical. Axelar is extremely undervalued. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.